thanks for being here today. So today, this morning, I sent the budget for the city of Albuquerque to our city councilors. I sent them a balanced budget, a budget with no tax increases, a budget that invests in the people of Albuquerque. It invests in our place. It has raises in there for our public safety individuals as well as our sorry, Jim. Good. You ready? Let me start again. Good. So this morning I sent a budget to the city council. It is a balanced budget. It is a budget that includes no tax increases, and it's a budget that really invests in our place, our people, and our employees at the city of Albuquerque. And most importantly, it's a budget that I feel adds tremendous value for you, the taxpayers. So when you send your tax dollars to the city of Albuquerque, we return those to you in the form of world-class services in a city that will look even better. We invest in public safety, and we just want to make sure that it's well-rounded. And so we've sent this to the city councilors in a way that they can start their work and get that back to us at the end of June in a way that makes sense. It's a $524 million budget. It has a reflection of gross receipts taxes growth. Let me wait till Jim gets a chance to. All right. Sorry, guys. I just.
No, it's ruined.
Okay, I just need to make sure it's good. All right, thanks. Sorry about that. Okay. It's a $524 million budget. It has revised GRT growth from 2.5% to 2.9%, and what that means is that our economy is growing. We're not exactly where we want to be from an economic standpoint, but the good news is we are in a growth pattern. We're starting to see more opportunities for investment in the city of Albuquerque. We're seeing increases in construction permits, and we're seeing general gross receipts tax growth. That means people are getting out and spending more dollars, and those dollars are what we use to give back to the community, from public safety to parks and rec, to making sure that our quality of life is good in the city of Albuquerque. This budget continues to grow reserves. It's a fiscally conservative budget. So from a bond rating standpoint, we think it's really important that we can show the rating agencies that we are being good fiscal stewards, and this budget does that. This budget keeps social services intact. We know that there are people in our community that need services, and this does not have any significant cuts to those services. It has a $1.5 million bonding opportunity in there from a revenue standpoint, which means we could bond about $18 million worth of public projects with this. Those $18 million can be any number of things. We will rely on our city councilors to work with us. My only request is that those are projects that make an impact in our community from an economic standpoint, from a quality of life standpoint. I know that we're in discussions about the new baseball stadium and facilities out on the west side of Albuquerque. That is a project that I think is important to make sure that we have quality sports facilities for our kids, but also that we can attract tourism, that we can bring sports tourism into the city of Albuquerque. A number of city councilors are talking about some swimming pool opportunities in their districts. All of these things are on the table, and I'm willing to talk about any one of them as long as they are impactful projects in the city of Albuquerque. We have some things in the budget that will allow us to have a good operational government. There's some things in there like computers that need to be purchased so that our employees can be productive. But it also makes a significant impact on public safety. This budget still includes authorization and funding for 1,000 police officers, and as Chief Eden and his staff have some of the largest recruiting classes that we've had in years, we want to make sure that that funding is in place. The budget includes funding for some new police cars. It includes some funding for new 911 operators, so it really heavily invests in public safety. It certainly includes the resources needed to continue with the settlement agreement with the Department of Justice from a policy procedure standpoint, but also a training standpoint. So overall, we feel like it's a good, solid budget. We've worked really hard. This gentleman here is Jerry Romero. He is our budget director at the city of Albuquerque. He and his team have been working for months. We meet with every single director. We invite the city council staff to come and join us so that we have an opportunity to at least have conversations before they see it for the first time. Yesterday we briefed our city councilors on this as well, and I just look forward to working with our councilors. We have been through some difficult economic times in the last number of years with this great recession that we've had, but we've kept our eye on the ball. We've put financially responsible budgets forward. We've returned those in a way that the taxpayers can see real value. but those have taken some tough decisions. And now we're able to include raises for our employees and great things for our community. So Jerry, I want to thank you and your entire team. A lot of midnights go into putting these budgets together and doing these things in a way that's done well. So he's here to answer specific questions too if there's something that I don't have. But you have a briefing package that has a lot of the details in it. With that, let's take some questions.
Pay increases.
Yep.
City employees.
Yep.
In general, regular employees.
Right.
1%.
Right.
Police officers 1.5.
Yep.
Firefighters more than that.
Right.
2.5, I think.
Yep.
Tell me about what's the thinking in there? How come so much for your firefighters?
Well, one of the things that we want to make sure that we do, and other than 1 or 2 years, we've been able to include some raises for our employees, and we think that that's important. So there's a 1% raise across the board for city employees. We also have a 1.5% for police. That's on top. I think this will take police, if it's accepted, over 20% in pay increases since I've been the mayor. And then we were able to settle the lawsuit that we had last year. So that's also some additional dollars into those 1,000 officers' pockets. When we did the original pay cuts, our firefighters took about a 2.47% cut. Not about, that's an exact number actually. When we did our initial, let me say that again so it's a little bit clearer. When we did our initial pay cuts, what we told our employees is we're going to do our very best to get you back to square. We've come a long way in that regard with our police officers, and we want to make sure that this budget, we pay attention to our firefighters. They've been patient in a lot of ways, and we want to make sure that we honor that. And so we just think it's, from an equity standpoint, it's time that we sent this down with a little bit more for our firefighters this year.
When did they take that cut, Mayor? Do you remember what year?
So if you go back from a historical standpoint, so I took office in December of 2009. That's mid-year for the budget. So we had to solve about a $25 million shortfall with that first budget. And then when those projections came out in March of 2010, that was another $66 million shortfall. So in my first couple of months in office, we had to solve a $100 million problem. So I didn't want to do furloughs because I felt like furloughs do a couple of things. The employee loses their wages for that day. You as a citizen lose your services. But when the employee comes back, our structural cost of government's the same. We haven't really solved a structural deficit problem, which is what we had at the time. So we made a tough decision. We cut pay to keep our employees on the job and keep services whole. It's about 2% across the board citywide. So that was in 2010. Since then, we've been working our way back. We've been working our way back to make sure that our employees have a raise. Now, we've had some years where we've had raises where they haven't taken the raises, where we have not been able to get to an agreement with the unions to do that. But once we got the union time issue resolved a couple of years ago, then it's been a lot smoother going because we have this language in the contracts now where the citizens aren't paying for union time. That union time's being donated through vacation and other resources through the employees, so that the union's time is being taken care of rather than the taxpayers paying that time. So since then, it's been a lot easier to get to some of these agreements. That's a long answer. Does that answer it, though?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, you've got the information, and we appreciate you coming. And like I say, let me see if I can shorten up the original for your purposes. So today I sent the budget down to the City Council. It's a budget that is balanced. It's a budget that does not include any tax increases. It provides a raise for our city employees, and most importantly, it invests in our people of Albuquerque. It invests in our place. Our city will be better off because of this budget, and I look forward to working with the city councilors on getting something finalized in the coming months.